Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bull Eagle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kelly and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable, and today we have Bianca Villalobos with us again. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fabulous. Are you still in San Diego at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Nice, nice. How's it been over there since we last spoke?
It's been nice, a lot of events and keeping busy.
Nice, nice. Tell everybody a bit of what you're known for and what you've done since we last spoke.
I'm known for advocating for all of my medical conditions. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 2 years old, and I've been doing pageants since I was 5. I try to create a community to come together and do work in service to make a change.
That's amazing. That makes you definitely resilient. What was it like growing up at a young age, knowing that you had diabetes and you may not have understood it until you learned about it as you got older?
When I was 2, I don't really remember the stories of how I was diagnosed because I was so young. Sometimes it is a bit difficult growing up with it, especially when you have to grow up so fast and learn different things that other kids or people your age may not be learning about or doing. But there's definitely some positive things with it just by the community is so supportive, and I've been able to become a part of a group called Teens Rock, and all of the teens there have type 1 diabetes just like me. So it helps me feel not so alone.
Yeah. Did you feel alone at one point, or did you get support right away?
There are times that you feel alone. Obviously, with chronic illnesses,
Yeah.
there are points where you feel sad about them, but there's always a brighter side in it.
Yeah, for sure. What was your first glimpse of knowing you had diabetes? Like, how did you learn to treat it for the first time?
Well, as I was younger when I was diagnosed, my mom took care of me very well. And growing up, I'm able to take care of myself. So if my blood sugar is low, I'm able to go get myself a snack or a juice. Or I've been learning how to change my medical devices on my own, which sometimes is a little bit tricky and difficult because I'm not sure, but I don't like shots, and I know others may not. So doing that is very challenging, but it's something that I'm learning.
Yeah, for sure. What do you use? Do you use a pump then for your insulin, or what do you use to take insulin in?
For my insulin, I use the Tandem pump, and to check my blood sugar, sometimes I'll use pokers and strips for the glucose meter, or I'll have my Dexcom, which I normally wear.
Do you have to prick your fingers growing up?
When I was little, I didn't really like the concept of medical devices on my body. So we did like insulin pens, and we did poke my fingers for checking my blood sugar, but now I don't really have to. Sometimes if I feel as though the app is off, I will poke my finger.
Got it. Does that make it uncomfortable knowing you don't like shots a little bit? Those pricks in the finger that feel like ew, you know?
I don't think anyone really likes shots. Um, but with me, it depends on the poker. Some of them really hurt and some of them don't. The ones that I have, they don't hurt as much. It also depends on the level that you put them at.
Got it. Got it. My brother has a type 1 diabetes from a diagnosis that he got after a flu. I learned over time that some people and families have a genetic thing where if they develop a flu or even a simple cold, it can turn into diabetes like during the middle school years. And that's unfortunately what happened with my brother. And I remember that he was mentally drained for a while having to deal with all that, especially since it turned his world upside down for a bit. And I was relieved that he was okay afterwards because he almost died, at the time that he was battling the flu and all that. His blood sugar being low, he was on a bus returning from a very long cross country choir trip, I believe, for his school. And despite him not looking good, they didn't stop to take him to the hospital. And by the time he came back to our hometown, if it had been like hours later, he would have died. And I just remember feeling really bad for him. And then it was sort of hard to understand and comprehend what was going on with him until I got told later that it was a diabetes thing and that he was born with the genetics, unfortunately. And to this day, I support him in his efforts of controlling it to my best ability, especially knowing that I was the lucky one to not get the gene when he wasn't. Sometimes you feel a bit of guilt on that end. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.